Okay, so I'm doing this video with the intention of helping you with the sound and light techniques. This is going to cover quite a bit. However, I'm just going to do this in bits and pieces because it's pretty extensive and I just don't have the energy for it, honestly. I just got out of the hospital again. This is the third time this year. I know more clearly about my condition in respect to my heart and all that. And long story short is that there is no fixes. Now there's supernatural fixes, and meaning in respect to the divine blueprint. And here lately I've heard some stories of people actually accessing that. And unfortunately those experiences were through a near-death experience before they were able to access that. One particular testimonial had to do with a young man. When he was 4 years old, he had a near-death experience, and it wasn't until he was in his early 30s, or around 30 years old, that actually he had another near-death experience. And he was able to recall what he had learned when he was 4 years old. There was no way for him to be able to process the information when he brought it back, so he wasn't really able to bring it back. But during the second NDE, he was able to bring it back. Not only did he bring back the understanding, he brought back the power. He brought back the ability to heal, and and the way that he describes it in respect to the blueprint, very similar to that what you see in KS or Keylontic science. So there's a reason why I've been drawn to this. I've known this for quite a while, this understanding of this, but didn't really have the words or the way to be able to formulate it. But I was aware of it. We all are, really. All angelic humans, at least that I'm aware of, I would think, are aware of this. So I had been aware of this for a very long time within me, you know. A lot of things just at your grasp, but you just don't really know how to go about getting it, you know, because a lot of things are blocked here, as you well know, within the vessel that you're in, and for a lot of different reasons in respect to the genetic manipulation and just the frequency condition here, how much of a frequency drop it is, and how things had been altered or should I say been manipulated on the holographic level in respect to the manifest template. So what this is for, this particular video, is to help you with visualization in respect to the sound and light techniques. Now, when doing the sound and light techniques, when you learn the I haven't been able to do them, folks, because of my condition. Just talking as I am right now, I'm having a huge problem with the firing of the electrical impulse within my heart, and it surges up into my brain, and the pulse starts giving me a headache. So, I mean, I'm doing this for your benefit because it's important for things to change in this world. My intention, my desire has been for a long time, and I've experienced this as a healer. And however, I can't heal myself because I don't have access to that energy that connects me to my blueprint. And to go back to that young man, he did, and he shares experience of him healing people, and he wasn't really aware of what he was really doing. He just was now connected to it, and he come to understand it further, you know. And while he was applying certain things that were just kind of happening, because now he had his template cleared, and his current path to his manifestation identity had been cleared, so he had access to this power. And I like to refer to it as power. It's empowering you to be able to transmute. It's empowering you to be able to heal. It's empowering you to be able to heal others. So this is the reason why I'm doing this right now. Even in my condition that I'm in, I'm doing it because I want you to be able to benefit as much and make the connection for this. And using the sound and light techniques, this was given to me. These techniques were given to me not through somebody else, but through my higher self. Okay? I was inspired to create them. All right? But how they came about, and then I correlated Keylontic science with it. Okay? But it's not necessary to have a Keylontic science background or understanding to allow these techniques to be most effective. All right? So the first thing with these techniques, I want to emphasize this again, it's the vibration that you're creating with your voice. It's not singing. It's creating vibration, very specific vibration. And I refer to this as vibratory harmonization. Now, that's a term I came up with, but it's also, I found out later that it's also included within the Freedom Teachings. That particular combination of terms has been used. However, I find it very interesting. A lot of terms and things that I find by myself, I find it correlating with that particular creation model. That is Keylontic creation or Keylontic science creation model. All right, I'm talking too much now, but I just want to emphasize that, okay? When you learn the vibratory harmonization, how to do that properly, it allows for you to be able to visualize much more clearer, because sound and light are one, and they unify, and you just begin to be able to do it takes you to a different level, folks. I'm telling you, please embrace this. It's going to take you to a different level, and it will allow, if you start early enough, or if you get assistance in the process with what you're doing. I'm not going to say it's the same for everybody, but there's a good chance that you could have a transformative occurrence very shortly within the practice of these techniques. What I noticed for myself was immediate once I did it, and your intention, this is so important, your intention is so essential. So when people start focusing on, well, it needs to be 432, well, fine. If that's what your intention is, that will work for you. 440, I said 440 because most people have access to that. They don't have keyboards, and they don't even have keyboards, which I refer to as tone generators. They don't, and the only reason for that is to assist you with your intention, so you can connect with your vibratory harmonization. It helps direct you. It assists you. So what we're looking at is the electromagnetic spectrum in regard to this, because the electromagnetic spectrum is the same thing as dimensional bands. The colors of the chakras and the electromagnetic spectrum are the same. Electromagnetic, electro being what? Ka, which is what? Particle, excuse me. And then the electro being what? The magnetic, I'm getting this backwards. The magnetic part of it being the particum, which is the polarity found within the unici. The polarity, in other words, the copy is the ire, which is the particum, and then the particum splits, and then it's inverted. The energy is inverted. So what is magnetic now becomes electrical. Okay, what is vibration pre-sound now becomes oscillation pre-light. Sound and light are one. Okay, so this is very, very, very important to understand that when we're looking at these keyboards, and if it's tuned to 440, these are approximations. Do you know how many shades of color that relates to this? Which is a frequency, right? You know, within frequent oscillation, it changes hue. Right? And so does the tone. It modulates. You get with what I'm saying here? So when we look at these tunings, and we can align it to the electromagnetic spectrum or chakra colors, guess what? close enough. And they're all approximations. Even 432, it's all approximations on the keyboard. It's there to assist you. So get past that. It's your intention. That is so important. And this is these tone generators and all this stuff laid out for you is to assist you. Remove any kind of obstacle you put in your way is going to keep you from doing it, and it's going to interfere. So if you're hung up on 432, no offense, but if you are, fine. Get a keyboard that that you can tune to 432. Fine, it works, and I explained that within the first exercise instruction. Okay, how to go about doing that. So anyhow, I'm just saying. Why am I saying all this? Because this world needs to change. And we need healers. I mean, real healers. People that walk with the imprint and they walk in restoration within themselves. And I so desire that for myself. My whole life's purpose is to be able to bring healing. You know? That's it. Because that's what's going to change the world. And it's going to be changed on a grassroots level. Within communities, within your neighborhoods, within, you know, boots on the ground, not connected to anything politically or anything out there. No showboating. It's the true nature of who and what we are being displayed in power. This is the reason why I'm bringing this video to you today. Okay, so I'm going to go briefly over some stuff here just to wet your whistle. And as I am able, I will add to this within installments. And I'm going to post all this within the Sound and Light Techniques playlist. Okay? Sound and Light are one. So let me jump into this. I'm sorry for the delay, but this is I'm so passionate about this. This is so important. So the manifest form. So all manifest bodies are a sound and light grid. So we're going to see a triunity in all this. All these terms that are going to be used, we're going to see a triunity in this. And within the triunity of, or as an example, Kathara, we have 3 syllables, right? So each one of those means something. Each syllable means something. And it always means sound, light, and one. It's either light, sound, one, or sound, light, one. The unity of that. So all manifest bodies are a sound and light grid, which is a triune harmonic structure of tonal frequency, and that tonal frequency is the sound. Okay? A scalar waveform, which is light, and this tonal frequency, scalar waveform, making up a grid, which is the morphogenic field, which is your manifest template, or form-holding template. Okay, so your form-holding template, also known as the Partakai grid, all goes back to the Unipsi, the Partakai. You can see everything within that. Everything. It's the first vibration, thought creation. So you're going to see everything in that. You're going to see the Merkaba in that. You're going to see the Kathara in that. You're going to see the Chakras in it. Sound and light, sound and light, sound and light, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so every cell of the manifest body stores memory in the form of code. Now, this is important to note because this has to do with what we understand as the karma of doctrine. So every cell of the manifest body stores memory in the form of code. Electrical code impulse. So it's electrical coded impulse, and within this code is the translation of light symbol codes or fire letters. Light symbol codes or fire letters, it's the same thing. And within that, you see sound and light are one. The codes by which memory is translated into sensory data by which this illusion of this three-dimensional reality field is produced. Okay, so cellular memory is the programming occurring within the manifest body, recording your universal signature, frequency, and tension. Okay? Now, this can be in all manner of how, because everything is recorded within the body. So through your intention, things are recorded. How you react to things is recorded, intentionally or unintentionally, actually. Okay? So it's important to understand this. This is, again, from which the origin of, the doctrine of karma comes from. Everything being integrated within the manifest body. It's being imprinted. Okay? Which is, another name for that is the crystal body or morphogenic field. Two different names, means the same thing. Eventually, all things imprinted upon the body will cycle out of the hologram, this projected hologram, because it's circulating current. Okay? That's the reason why you have cause and effect, right? Because of the circulation occurring within the construct, right? So, it is important to remember, though, that we're in a body that is an animal body. It's an animal body, folks. Okay? And I have had the conviction for a very, very long time that this is a sentient life form. Okay? Maybe that's the incorrect way to put it, but we're living in an animal body. So it's going to be impulsive, it's going to be reactionary, it's especially here because a lot of things are fear-based here within this world. So it's important to understand that this is an illusion so that you can harness the reins of the animal and realize that you actually are in control of it and you're not the body. And when the body reacts a certain way, you don't have to react with it. Now that takes conditioning. You have to renew your mind to this every day. And when you see certain things happen and you get better at it, you realize, okay, this is a body reacting. It's not me. I don't react that way. But if you allow yourself to react to the body, you start to imprint that within your soul. You won't hear this from anybody else, but I'll just say it's true. You become conditioned to thinking that you are the body. So therefore, that becomes your truth. And so wherever your intention is, that's where you're going to go. And that's where you're going to connect with. And that's going to be your sense of identity. So it's important to understand that this is an illusion. And that illusion that is occurring within by interfacing with his body is creating a refraction of consciousness within the construct of the sound and light design or grid. Okay? So keep that in mind. Okay, so light, let's take a look at the idea of light. And we're going to look at these different terms. So when you look at the Merkaba, you see this triune aspect. You look at the Katharva, you see the triune aspect. You see like the Ekasha, again, 3 syllables. You see the same thing. You see this triunity with the chakras, right? Same thing. So you're always going to see that within the Parthikai. You're always going to see that within the Unisai. Okay, if you're not familiar with these terms, that's fine. Go take a look at the cosmic shorts. Go through that. They're shorts. So the longest one is 5 minutes. The shortest one is under 2 minutes. Go take a look at those, and it will explain a lot of this, and you'll get a foundation for it. So, long story short is that when you look at these different terms, you see the triunity, and it's best to define these terms according to the foundation meaning for them, which is sound and light. Ka, okay, Kathara. Ka equals light, okay, which equals form. Light is form, okay? Light is form. These things will be very important later on. So light is form, Ka. So Ka refers to the 4 triune harmonic bodies, also known as Huva bodies. Okay, now Huva body, again, I'm just going to go back over what these manifest bodies are. Now that includes all manifest bodies, right? Everything. Anything that holds form, think of it in those terms, okay? That is this. All manifest bodies are a sound and light grid, which is a triune harmonic structure of tonal frequency sound, a scalar wave, light, and this tonal frequency / scalar wave form is making up a grid. This grid is the morphogenic field, which is the form-holding template, also known as the Partakai grid. A lot of names for the same thing actually here. You may have noticed this. Hopefully you are. So when you hear Huva bodies, that's what it's talking about. Okay? And these are found within different stations of identity within the different harmonic universes. And it refers to 4. Okay? So harmonic universe 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is dimensions 1 through 12. So the Ka must be brought out of dormancy within the human manifestation template before you can have the primal life force currents flowing through, which allows for regeneration. Okay? So for one to refer to the manifest template, you have to look at the Kathara grid. So Ka, light, Tha, sound, Ra, 1. So when you think of Kathara, think of light, sound, or 1. Okay? So the word Kathara refers to the core structure of the morphogenic field. That is, that is the holographic template of sound, light, and scalar waves that serves as the blueprints on which matter manifests. Ka, light, Tha, sound, Ra, 1. Sound and light are 1. Okay, so scalar waves, for those who are not familiar with what a scalar wave is, I'm going to insert right now a 2-minute video, 2 minutes, 2 seconds, that deals with this. So it's worthwhile if you're not familiar with that. If you have seen the video and you have a good understanding of what that is, you can go ahead and just, skim through that and get back to where we're at this point. But I'm going to go ahead and stop here and go ahead and insert that so you can watch that, and we'll come right back. So let's take a look at scalar grids, scalar waves. So magnetic fields can be understood as scalar grids or scalar fields made up of interwoven patterns of consciousness that take the form of standing waves. Again, we're referring to patterns of frequency. Okay? Very specific patterns of frequency. A scalar wave is a multidimensional standing wave pattern that emanates out of a fixed point. A sound tonal vibration within the morphogenic field of the cosmic unified field of energy. What is that? That is Partakai grids. Let's take a look at Christmas display lights. Okay? Scalar waves appear to move from one place to another, but in truth, they are stationary points of light that are strung together in sequences within the fabric of the cosmic morphogenic field. So the appearance of a scalar wave movement is generated as sequences of scalar wave points and are activated or lighted in synchronization with each other. So the effect, what we're seeing here in respect to the Christmas display lights, is an accurate depiction of what is occurring within the hologram. Okay, so the Kathara grid of the human body is the core holographic template upon which the morphogenic scalar wave template and all other levels of identity, which is the Huva bodies, right? Okay, and form, which are built, right? This is the control center. The Kathara grid is the control center for manifestation of the human being, all right? So this is where I'm going to stop at, because it starts to get into a little bit too much, and I need to stop. Okay, I'm pushing myself here, and I have the energy up to a certain point, but I know when to stop. So remember, all structural design begins with the unici, right? This is very important to remember this. Remember, all structural design, that's the Kathara, anything that you can think of that has form, structural design, begins with the Unisai and can be seen within the triunity of the Manu, Ire, and Mane. Unisai, point of all union. As an example, Kithara, you can look at Kithara, you can see it within the Partakai and within the polarization found within the Particum and Partike. So you have the Partikai, Ra, which is one, right? The unity, point of all unity. And the Particum, which is matter, pre-sound vibration, right? And which is Tha. And then Ka, which is light. Partike, antimatter, electrical, and oscillation, which is pre-light, right? So sound and light are one. In this case, we have light, sound are one. Okay, so anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. And when I come back to this, we're going to look into further depth in respect to the Kithara. Okay, and we're going to look at also, let me see what I got here. We're going to look at the crystal seals, what a planetary crystal seal is, the biological crystal seals, which is very important, star crystal seals, and we're going to look at those, and we're going to try to simplify it as much as possible. And and so we're going to just further look at the Kithara, light, sound are one, or point of unity. And then we're going to move into the karmic imprint a little bit more in respect to miasms, just to understand that more. And I'm going to try to briefly go through that. Just to get your sense of familiarity. But mainly what this is for is application, So we start going too deep into this rabbit hole. It's not going to be all that beneficial because you'll get lost in the knowledge. And as I mentioned with that young man, he... He didn't need to know all this stuff. And that's what we're really trying to do here. That's our goal, is that we just want to access the energy. We want to make the connection on an energetic level. And that's the reason why, again, I'm emphasizing the sound and light techniques. So, all right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and post this here. If you wish to assist me financially, I can really use it. I'm just leaving it out there and open. I'm letting go of everything that I possibly can. My condition actually is pretty serious. And like right now I have a headache because of the pulse that's occurring within my brain. And it happens. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you the truth. Anyhow, so you can go to my website and you can click on donation if you wish to help me, because it would help me pay my rent while I'm still around, and I will continue to do what I can do while I'm still able. I've been very frustrated here over the last, spent some time. I've been frustrated, but I'm letting go of all that. And I voiced myself with the video that I did. So if this may be my last one here, who knows? But I'm doing what I can. I'm doing it what I can, all that I can do. And I would just ask you to do what you can do and try to step up to the idea of doing all that you can do as well. So, all right, folks. Thank you.